WOKR, Rochester. This is News Source 13, first at 5, with Diana Whiteman and Doug Embledge.
Good afternoon. 3 events today related to the string of unsolved murders of area women. First, the discovery of another body this morning. Also, the identification of a body found in Northampton Park in Sweden yesterday. And this afternoon, what may be a break in the investigation.
The day began with the discovery of another body near where searchers found one yesterday. The body found today was discovered between 7 and 7:30 this morning by a hunter. It was found in the town of Sweden near Northampton Park, about 2/10 of a mile from where women's clothing and identification were found on Sunday.
Now, there has been no identification made on the body found today. However, the one found yesterday in Northampton Park has been identified as June Cicero. She's been missing since December the 17th. And the latest, there may be a break in the investigation of these murders. News Source 13 learned several hours ago that an individual is being questioned about the murders. That is happening at the Public Safety Building, where David Burns is standing by with 13 Live. David, what do you know?
Okay, Doug, just about 3 o'clock we were down at the Public Safety Building, and police are not saying anything officially, Doug, but I can tell you from experience that being thrown off the 4th floor of the Public Safety Building is a very good indication of an awful big development in a criminal case. That's where the Criminal Investigations Division is. Just about 3:30, many of the top people from the District Attorney's Office, including Howard Rellan and Chuck Siragusa, one of the top prosecutors, entered in a great rush over to the Public Safety Building. We're told by sources there that they are questioning a suspect. There was talk, according to one police source, of a confession. But again, all of that is based on limited sources and is not official from the police department. But obviously something of great importance is going on at the Public Safety Building, and we will be standing by to bring further details as they become available. Doug?
All right, David, thank you. Do stand by, and we'll check back with you as soon as anything happens. Thank you. Diana?
Now back to how this day began, with the discovery of another body in the Northampton Park area. State police learned of the latest case early in the day. This is the 14th body the medical examiner has had to cart away, one that may be connected to that string of murders that have baffled police for too long. The body was found early this morning by a hunter. It was partially covered by snow, embedded in the shallow foundation of an old farmhouse along Colby Road in Sweden. Dirt samples were taken from the site as evidence. The most difficult task today is combing this area for clues. 60 state troopers, joined by a team of other law enforcement officials, picked up as much potential evidence as they could. Beer cans, bags, trash by the roadside.
A lot of the snow is melted, so it's giving us better visibility to spot something on the ground. I right now have 3 state police helicopters with personnel searching the area as well as ground forces.
There was even a point when police dug for evidence today. By early afternoon, there was still little physical proof of what's been happening to these women.
Well, one man who's been watching the murder investigations with especially keen interest is Bill Mayer, former head of the City Police Physical Crime Squad. Major Mayer stepped down from the force recently, but he's been following the work of his former colleagues.
Bill Mayer used to be Major William Mayer. Now he's head of public safety at MCC. But hearing about the serial killing stirs memories of his days as the head of physical crimes. He remembers the tremendous pressure he felt when cases weren't solved quickly.
We were our own worst enemies because we were putting so much pressure on ourselves and burning the candle at both ends. And you know, the real risk is you know, that you're going to become so tired, so fatigued, so overwrought that when an event takes place, the break comes. You either may not see it, or you may be too weary to take advantage of it.
Mayer was still in the department when the string of prostitute murders began. It was too early then to link them to a serial killer.
Unfortunately, it takes these things to play out and have more of these things happen so that you can put together a pattern. And you can definitely see that there's a lot of similarities.
Mayer's enjoying his new life. No more calls in the middle of the night. But he remembers the frustration of unsolved murder cases.
The victims don't have justice, and you know, you just have to learn to accept it. A wise person told me when I first went into physical crimes, you're not going to solve every homicide. But that don't prevent you from plugging away and keep trying to do it.
On TV and in books, crimes are sometimes solved by an investigator's hunch. Mayer didn't work that way.
Best way to solve these types of things is just keep an open mind. You know, we're obviously dealing with someone who has some mental problems. And one pitfall is when you try to rationalize irrational acts, and you know, it's not going to get you any closer.
So a very eventful day, and we will recap briefly for you now the discovery of a body near Northampton Park this morning by a hunter. No ID on that body yet. However, police have identified a woman's body found near Northampton Park yesterday as June Cicero, a woman missing since December the 17th, and as David Burns just reported a few moments ago, what may be a break in this investigation. Police are questioning an individual in relation to the string of homicides, and one thing that indicates it is a serious break in the case would be the arrival of Howard Rellan, the district attorney, and first assistant district attorney Charles Saragusa. David standing by, and if we get more developments from the public safety building, we will bring you up to date. Diana?
4 days into the new year, and city police have their first bank robbery to investigate. It happened early this afternoon at the Key Bank on East Ridge Road. Police say a man walked into the branch office and handed the teller a note demanding money. The man's note threatened that he had a gun, but none was shown. The suspect was last seen heading east on foot and remains at large this hour.
A one-time Monroe County Sheriff's deputy has been sentenced to 15 years in prison, that following his conviction on federal charges related to a 1984 building fire. 49-year-old William Sexton was convicted back in October of arson, conspiracy, misapplication of bank funds, and mail fraud. Sexton was found guilty of setting the fire in order to collect insurance payments. 2 city firefighters were injured fighting that fire. The Rochester School Board has changed leaders. President Ben Douglas was unable to hold on to his seat in a vote today. He lost the position to Catherine Spoto. The board's new vice president is Rachel Heading.
Still to come on First at 5, Panama without Noriega. We'll show you pictures of the streets of Panama. They're dancing in the streets.
And now, afternoon traffic with Tom George.
No dancing in the highways here. We have some wet highways this afternoon because of the rain and on and off drizzle. We're going to get through most of the afternoon rush. We're looking at the primaries. The overview right now of the can of worms, which you're looking at, doesn't show much of a problem out of downtown, which would be left to right on your screen. But from the bottom of the screen up, which is 590 northbound, it's stacked up about before Highland. West Siders, you're getting out of downtown, or at least the volumes are right now without much of a problem. 390 northbound is heavy north of the 490 interchange. Couple of minor accidents here and there, nothing really in your way. Buckle up, and we'll take a look at it again shortly. From Traffic Source 13, I'm Tom George.
News Source 13 is Rochester's choice. Rochester viewers made News Source 13 first again. From Rochester's first news of the day to Rochester's first early evening news, first at 5. And News Source 13 at 6 and 11. Once again, Rochester's choice. Rochester's News Source 13.
I can't believe I put on all this weight.
You camped by the food at every party. Let's resolve to eat right.
From Tops Country Fresh Farms natural chicken and golden trim light beef to Tops brand products with nutritional labeling, Tops has what you need to eat right year-round. Right now, during Tops Diet Sale, you'll save in every aisle. Plus, you could win a California vacation.
You look great.
Tops Diet Sale, it's worth getting to.
Tops never stops.
I've always loved dessert. Back in high school, they said if I didn't cool it, I'd take up 2 spaces in the yearbook. That was high school. But I still haven't given up dessert, as long as it's sugar-free Jell-O pudding. It's all NutraSweet, so it doesn't have a lot of calories.
Sugar-free Jell-O pudding, the dessert you don't have to desert.
Can't wait till the class reunion.
Enjoy New York's favorite winter sport. Join WOKR 13, Greek Peak, and 96 WCMF for a great day of skiing. And help fight child abuse with the Adamall Ski Shuttle to Greek Peak on Sunday, January 7th. You'll get round-trip transportation to Greek Peak, an all-day lift ticket, and free instruction. Tickets are $25 and available at all Sportacular locations. Proceeds to benefit the Adamall's Child Resource Center. Ski the Peak with WOKR 13 and help keep our children safe.
Panama's Manuel Noriega has been arraigned on drug trafficking charges. As you'll recall, he was taken into American custody last night in Panama City. Noriega surrendered to the U.S., and Department of Defense officials immediately handcuffed him and sent him to Miami. There, the process was supposed to begin to secure him a fair trial. Noriega claims to have information that could damage President Bush, but the White House says it is not worried. The toppled Panamanian leader says he has information about his days as a CIA informant and favors that he received. Our Washington correspondent Mary Norton has more on how the nation's lawmakers are now reacting.
The head of the Senate Armed Services Committee praised the American military venture in Panama today, but admitted Noriega might have faced harsher justice in his own country than he will in the United States.
The crimes he committed were much more severe in Panama than the ones he allegedly committed here. And all of this is in terms of allegations, but if there had been any murder charges brought and so forth, they would have been brought in Panama.
Another senator on the Armed Services Committee considered the legal implications of arresting Noriega.
Well, I just hope that all the lawyers and all the people over at the Attorney General's office have been considering this before we ask to have him brought back here, so that we're on very firm ground. It would look a little bit silly if we went through all this and brought him back here and then found out that it was unconstitutional, that we really had no right to do this to begin with.
Across town today here in Washington, civil rights leaders deplored American action in Panama, accusing the United States of illegal behavior regarding the invasion itself and regarding Noriega.
The invasion of Panama, which took him out of power, remains an illegal act of war against a sovereign nation not sanctioned under any principle of international law.
Lives have been lost, an economy devastated. These are great tragedies. But of even greater consequence, the United States has intervened in the sovereign affairs of another nation, demonstrating an arrogance which rivals that of 13th century crusaders.
This group of civil rights leaders are calling for the United States to end its military presence in Panama, and they're demanding Congress investigate the reason President Bush ordered the invasion.
And that is Mary Norton in our Washington bureau. Well, the reaction to all of this by thousands in Panama has been described as jubilant, euphoric. People cheered in the streets last night at the news of Noriega's surrender. They danced, horns blared, pots and pans were struck with joy. Quite a different picture from what we have seen in recent weeks.
An investigation is underway into this morning's emergency landing of a passenger jet in Tampa, Florida. A Northwest Airlines 727 out of Miami lost one of its engines. It landed safely, and none of the 139 passengers aboard were injured. The engine is believed to have dropped off over a rural area of Florida and has not yet been recovered. In Boston, the man who told police his pregnant wife was fatally wounded by a robber last October took his own life today. Charles Stewart apparently jumped off this bridge over Boston Harbor this morning. Boston police say he left a suicide note. Stewart became a suspect in the shooting late yesterday. Now, in October, this story grabbed national attention. Stewart told police his wife was shot in their car October 23rd. Stewart's wife died after giving birth, and the baby died 2 weeks later.
The question before us today is, how long will the January thaw last?
Meteorologist Glenn Johnson will be here with some answers when we come back.
Thanks to you, for many of the less fortunate in our community, this holiday was a little brighter, a little warmer, a little healthier, a little more joyful, and a lot more fun.
With the help of Volunteers of America, WOKR 13, Wegmans, and First Federal Savings, you brought the true spirit of the season to those in need. Thank you for giving a gift from the heart.
Become a New York State skier this season and take advantage of the special $25 beginner ski package and ski either Bristol Mountain or Swain Ski Center. Ski package includes beginner lift ticket, lesson, and all your ski gear, all for the unbelievable price of $25. Pick up your beginner ski package coupon at Snow Country, Sportacular, Country Gentleman, or Track and Trail ski shops.
You gotta ski it to believe it. Ski it.
Through the magic of remote control
at Snow Country's January ski clearance.
And I'm taking up to 50% off selected ski clothing.
Wrong channel, Mitch. I'm not taking up to 50% off ski clothing with some of the best skiing still ahead.
But I'm also taking up to 50% off selected ski equipment.
Mitch, there's not a remote possibility of taking up to 50% off ski equipment this early.
Skiers, don't be turned off. See me for up to 50% off during Snow Country's January ski clearance.
When he heard the news, he left in haste. Didn't want to miss that big, bold taste.
McDonald's cheddar melts.
It's beef from McDonald's, a quarter pound on a toasted rye bun, but it won't stay around.
McDonald's cheddar melts.
With cheddar cheese sauce, grilled onions too. It's a big, bold taste, too good to be true.
McDonald's Cheddar Melt.
Cheddar Melt. For a limited time. To go at McDonald's.
We wouldn't have thought it possible just a couple weeks ago, but I think it was raining most of the day today.
It was kind of an unpleasant drizzle out there at one point in the early afternoon.
Yeah, not what you would really call a nice day out there by any means, unless you want the rain, of course. And we're getting a lot of bare spots on the ground. I think it's been well over a month since we've seen the bare ground, and a lot of that snow is disappearing. And the combination of two things that we really need to melt the snow is the mild temperatures and the rain, and that's exactly what we have today. And in fact, we got more rain on the way. We're going to take a look at live Rochester radar scanning the skies, and you can see a nice big band of rain showers extending out over Lake Ontario, in through the city, and then back towards Buffalo. Most of the rain now is in through our western sections of our viewing area, and it will slowly move on through, and then it will begin to dwindle on later on tonight. But winter is not over just yet. As you might expect, we do have some colder temperatures on the way. Here's a look at our present conditions. We do have the light rain. The temperature is 47 degrees at this point. I think we got up close to 48 degrees for an afternoon high temperature. Relative humidity 80%. The winds have been really picking up. A nice wind-driven rain out there out of the southwest at 20, gusting to about 31, but the winds will die down later on this evening. And there's a look at our barometric pressure. It is now beginning to rise. National satellite picture. We go coast to coast, and you can see a nice big fetch of moisture, the white band of clouds feeding right into the east coast. And really, we could have gotten a heck of a lot more in the way of rain if this storm system was a little bit more organized, but it is quickly moving off the east coast. And in fact, a lot of the rain showers will be dwindling later tonight, and in fact, beginning to change over to some snow flurries. Now we go beneath the clouds, take a look at the national radar, and you can see all the moisture up and down the east coast. They have heavier thunderstorms down in through Alabama, parts of Florida. Even just in through Pennsylvania, you can see a little dot of yellow there. In fact, let's go in for a little bit of a closer look. A couple of thunder showers down that way. We don't think we're going to have a problem with that, but the rain will be off and on through this evening, and of course the temperatures will be dropping. And we think sometime after midnight we're going to get below freezing. Watch for some of those slick spots on the roadways if you're out later tonight and especially early tomorrow morning. We don't think it's going to be a big problem, but we will find a few snow flurries as we head into the early morning hours. Since we're on the subject of temperatures, here they are locally now, mainly in the 40s, but look to the north, up and through Canada, temperatures are down into the 30s, and again, that will come in later on this evening. Here's a look at our forecast for tonight. We will find cloudy skies. Look for periodic rain showers for the early part of the evening. Then sometime around midnight, the temperatures will begin to drop, and those rain showers will begin to change over to snow flurries. It is definitely back to the cold. Temperatures will be down to about 29 degrees for the early morning. So some of the folks out there have been saying, well, what's happening to our snow? We do have more of it on the way, and the ski mountains and the ski resorts are going to be happy when the temperatures drop as we start heading into the weekend. Of course, we're going to have more on that at 6 o'clock.
You've planned a nice weekend for us, though, I see, too.
We're going to try. Actually, the weather's not going to be that bad and not that harsh of return to winter weather, seasonal for this time of the year. And we'll talk more about that at 6.
All right.
Thanks, Glenn.
Sure.
In today's People, Donna Rice, the model involved with presidential candidate Gary Hart in the last campaign, has reportedly become a born-again Christian. The Washington Times reports Rice now spends much of her time doing charitable work. And singer Neil Diamond will receive a special award of merit during the American Music Awards show later this month. Diamond will join the ranks of other notables such as Bing Crosby and Elvis Presley.
Still to come in sports, the Vikings and the 49ers square off this weekend.
Mike Catalana will size up the two teams in the NFC battle next on First at 5.
If your closet is like mine, you've probably got shoes you wouldn't be caught dead in. Well, trade them in and save 20% at UV Shoes. They've got the world's most comfortable shoes in all sizes and 5 widths. Trade them in at UV Shoes. Regardless of what condition your old uniforms are in, they're worth 20% off new uniforms and shoes at Uniform Village's annual trade-in sale. It's on now. Trade in your old uniforms and take 20% off new uniforms at Uniform Village.
People caring, helping to make your dreams come true. Our people make a difference. Bob Hastings Ford. On your side, helping to make it right. We're gonna save you more. It's a real good feeling to know we're always there. Our people make a difference. Bob Hastings Ford.
the bridal event of the year. The 22nd Annual Bridal Showcase, Sunday, January 7th, Holiday Inn downtown. Presented by Bridal Hall and WOKR 13. See the world's foremost designers of bridal fashions, Rochester's Bridal Show of Shows. Win a Caribbean trip for two on American Airlines, courtesy of VIP Travel Service. Sign up now for your free tickets at these participating merchants or call Bridal Hall 225-3500. Bridal Showcase, January 7th, Holiday Inn downtown.
We've had Rochester radar for about 8 years, so there's 8 years of experience that nobody else in Rochester has. We're the ones, and you just can't get any better than that.
When you want news, weather, sports, stock information, or more 24 hours a day, call the free WOKR Rochester Telephone Informer. By dialing 777 WOKR, you'll get up-to-the-minute information. The Rochester Telephone Informer. One more reason why WOKR is Rochester's News Source 13.
Donahue. One word says it all.
Donahue, weekday mornings at 9 on 13.
Announcing Peter Harris Clearance Days. Tremendous savings on quality fashions for the entire family. Clearance Days. Going on now at all Peter Harris stores.
Some news from the American Hockey League.
And for that, we turn to Mike Catalano with sports. Mike?
Yeah, there isn't going to be any changes involving the Amerks. Of course, this franchise is set. They're not going anywhere. But there could be some news involving some other teams. WICZ-TV in Binghamton, the station down there, is reporting today that the American Hockey League is planning on some major franchise changes for next year. Now, here are the proposed moves. Number one, the Whalers of Binghamton would leave and move to Springfield, where they would be just 28 miles away from their parent club, the Hartford Whalers. The Springfield Indians, they would then travel a little bit south and wind up in New Haven, closer to their parent team, the Islanders. Now, what happens to New Haven, you ask? Well, that team goes to Phoenix in the International League, much closer to their parent team, the LA Kings. Binghamton would not be left out in the cold. The Rangers minor league team, currently in Flint, Michigan, would move to Binghamton, and the Whalers would remain in the American Hockey League, maybe under a different name. Now, the deals would leave the AHL with the same amount of teams. Officials from the Whalers and the league would not confirm or deny the story, but they did say that something is in the works, and then an official announcement will be made next week. Now to football, where the Bills had a brief workout today and tomorrow morning. Then they'll board an afternoon flight for a quick trip to Cleveland for Saturday's AFC playoff game. At 6 o'clock, we will hear from the Bills' Thurman Thomas about the Browns' aggressive defense. The other playoff game set for Saturday is a rematch from 2 years ago, the Vikings taking on the champion 49ers. In 1988, the Vikes shocked the Niners, blowing them out in San Francisco. But this year, the Vikings haven't been impressive, have struggled offensively. But even with the problems, Minnesota found a way to win the division. Now they have to see how they stack up against the league's very best team.
You know, they have the best record in football right now through the regular season, but this isn't the regular season now. This is postseason play. It's a totally different game.
I'm looking forward to playing San Francisco. I think that they have the best record in the NFL, and everybody kind of considers them the best team right now. And the road to the Super Bowl goes through San Francisco anyway, so we're gonna have to play them sooner or later. Might as well do it first.
All right, now some other news from today. The Sacramento Kings of the NBA have named former Dallas coach Dick Motta as their new head coach, and the city of Baltimore has been granted the baseball All-Star game for 1993. And last night, an exciting win for the Syracuse Orangemen. They got by Pitt in the last seconds. We'll have highlights of that game at 6 o'clock.
Scary one. Thanks, Mike.
Close one. Yep.
Now a check of today's activity on Wall Street.
Don't miss the Big Dome Boat Show this Wednesday through Sunday at the Dome Center in Henrietta. There are more boats than ever before and more than 20 dealers ready to help you cruise into the 90s in the boat of your dreams. Take advantage of special boat show incentives. This is the one show you can't afford to miss. Save $1 on adult admission when you clip any of our newspaper ads. The Big Dome Boat Show this Wednesday through Sunday at the Dome Center in Henrietta. The serious boat show for the serious boat buyer.
Tonight, Tom Bosley is back.
How did he do that? How should I know?
It's the premiere of the all-new Father Darling Mysteries. And Hickok's passion gets out of hand.
I don't want you going in there. You don't belong here no more. What are you saying, Teaspoon? I'm saying you're fired.
The Young Riders. Then, This pop singing star died or was it an imposter? Find out on Prime Time Live.
Tonight, only on WOKR 13.
Start the new year with big savings from Wegmans. Brighten your day with a taste of the tropics. Sunshine, fresh golden yellow bananas. 4 pounds for just $1. Nutritious Wegmans peanut butter, a family favorite. Choose smooth or crunchy. Only 99 cents for the 18-ounce jar. Stop by Wegmans Family Video Department with free memberships, great selection, and low rental fees. It's easy to take home the stars from Wegmans. Every day, you get our best.
Football gave me great memories and some painful knees. I remember those smelly old-fashioned liniments, but time and training methods have changed. Today's trainers use Flexol 454, the aloe vera-based pain-relieving gel used by trainers in all major pro sports. And now Flexol is available to the rest of us who live with pain. I might just ask for my old job back. Flexol 454, it's a winner.
Got supper brewing, have you? Well, everybody should be home on time for it. No major slowdowns or backups spotted across the county. Heavy volumes, but it is working without much of a problem. Are you heading out into it tonight? Rain shower, as Glenn shows you, continues across the county. Therefore, the highway's wet. That with the melting snow this evening and temperatures dropping later on tonight. Temperatures tomorrow's ride-in could be icy. Want to check with us at 6:15 for the first look at it in the morning. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. From Traffic Source 13, I'm Tom George.
Well, earlier in this half hour, we told you about a possible break in Rochester's string of unsolved murders. Police have had a man in custody. They have been questioning him throughout the afternoon, possibly a suspect and linked to several of these murders.
And we've learned something new since the top of the broadcast now about the man who is being questioned. Sources in the sheriff's department tell us that it is an older male who is right now on the 4th floor of the public safety building downtown being questioned and possibly connected to 5 of the killings. Now, this is again an unconfirmed report, but it does come through sources in the sheriff's department that an older male is the man being questioned in relation to the string of unsolved murders in our area, and that he may be connected to 5 of the killings. Now, of course, earlier we reported that another body was found in Northampton Park today, that the one found yesterday had been identified as June Cicero. Of course, that body found not far from Northampton Park, identified as June Cicero, and she'd been missing since December the 17th.
And of course, we're not sure which of these 5 murders this suspect might be connected to at this point.
It's really speculation at this point.
But there's been an intensive search in the Northampton Park area. 60 state troopers out there today, 3 helicopters, and a host of other detectives and investigators combing the scene, picking up trash along the roadside, and really looking for any clues that they could find that would help them solve this.
Further indication that that this break in the story, that in the investigation, may be serious, happened when our crews were asked to leave the 4th floor of the public safety building today. David Burns is there, though, and we'll have a live report at 6 o'clock, so stay tuned for that after the People's Court.
Thanks for joining us.
News Source 13 closed captioning is made possible by Wegmans.
From WOKR Rochester, this is News Source 13 with Don Alhart, Diana Whiteman, meteorologist Bill Peterson, and Mike Catalana on sports.
The scene is a familiar one locally. Investigators, the crime scene, roped off, and a woman's body placed in the medical examiner's van.
But tonight, there may be a break in the unsolved murders rocking the greater Rochester area. Good evening. What we do know is the police at this hour are questioning one man in connection with a string of unsolved homicides.
We're going to go directly to reporter David Burns, who's standing by and has been standing by most of the afternoon at the public safety building. David?
Okay, Don, let me mention first off what we know beyond a shadow of doubt. About 3 o'clock, between 3 and 4 o'clock, virtually the entire top brass of the police department and the district attorney's office converged on the public safety building and headed for the 4th floor, which is the criminal investigations division. Now, let me move to what sources have told us. This is unconfirmed but unreliable sources. We are told that a man is in custody, is being questioned in connection with the string of homicides of prostitutes. We're told that this is an older gentleman from the Rochester area and that he has been linked to approximately 10 of the 14 homicides at this time. The police department has not made any formal statement yet. Again, this information is based on sources in the police departments. However, we are standing by in hopes that there will be a statement coming from the department later. I might mention that one reason why a formal statement might not have been made yet is that in any case this sensitive, it's very important to lay out the exact facts, because anything that is said at this stage may turn up in a later trial, and the police authorities are very careful to make sure that everything is nailed down before they issue any kind of a formal statement. Don and Diana?
David, at this point, does it appear that most of the agencies involved, city police and the sheriff's department, state police, have been brought together so that they can compare notes and talk to the suspect at the same time?
Sure. It was virtually a parade around 3:30 this afternoon as the state police, what appeared to be undercover police officers converged to compare notes to what appeared to be some witnesses going up the elevators to the 4th floor. It's very unusual for the press to be roped off from that floor, and the fact that the press is not permitted up there, I think, is a very telling sign at this stage. Don?
And any indication as to how soon we might find out exactly what's going on?
Nothing yet, Don. There's certainly, the press has asked for some sort of a press conference to be scheduled for this evening. There are an awful lot of folks down here with a lot of questions, and while we are getting some what we believe to be very reliable information from sources inside, we all certainly would like to hear this on the record from the top authorities. Don?
Okay, David Burns with 13 Live. We thank you, and of course we'll rejoin David at the Public Safety Building as developments warrant.
Meanwhile, the body of a woman found near Northampton Park yesterday has now been identified. State police tell News Source 13 that the body is that of 34-year-old June Cicero. She was last seen on Lyle Avenue back on December 17th. Police say that Cicero did have a history of prostitution and also drug abuse. Her body was spotted late yesterday morning from a state police helicopter. An autopsy was conducted today, but the medical examiner has not yet ruled on her cause of death. Well, police have not identified the body of a second woman found today near Northampton Park. They do know it's a black female, and they've been looking for a black woman, 20-year-old Felicia Stevens. Donna Lacey has been following the story of the latest body found, and she joins us now in our newsroom with a report. Donna?
Diana, this most recent body finding episode, for lack of a better word, began to unfold last Sunday when Felicia Stevens' boots and blue jeans were discovered in Northampton Park. Now, 5 days later, police have found not one, but 2 dead women near the park.
Police technicians canvassed the area where the latest female body was found. A hunter came across the partially buried body around 7:30 this morning. It was located in some bushes near Colby Street in Sweden, just west of Northampton Park.
It's the body of a black female. There's a possibility it could be connected to the recent murders of prostitutes in the city of Rochester, and we are continuing with that investigation.
State police have been looking for a missing black woman, 20-year-old Felicia Stevens, since her clothes turned up in Northampton Park last Sunday. Today's body was located less than a block from where the clothes were found, and it was located across the park from where the body of June Cicero was found yesterday. Stevens and Cicero were both tied to prostitution, and their disappearances were believed to be linked to the 12 unsolved homicides of women in the area. Police do not know for sure if the body found today is that of Stevens.
It's very possible.
Both bodies were located near a road, but out of view from the road. Both bodies were believed to be partially clad. Police are being tight-lipped about any other similarities.
There are a number of police departments that are investigating this with us, in particular the Rochester Police Department, and certainly we don't want to be giving out information that may jeopardize the investigation.
Police expect to make an identification as their investigation continues. Donna Lacey, News Source 13.
Now, the body found today makes it the 14th possibly related unsolved murder since 1987 in our area. The location of the women's bodies have been scattered throughout the greater Rochester area, as you can see. But there have now been 3 bodies found in or around the Northampton Park area. But police are not stopping there.
This is Warren White. Since Sunday, police have been combing Northampton Park from the air and ground. They're calling it the largest search of its kind ever launched in the area. Today, the search area was expanded with the hopes of finding clues and possibly the bodies of other women.
We are concentrating our efforts along Salmon Creek, various townships such as the town of Sweden, the town of Ogden, town of Riga, places like that, and also as well as Northampton Park. Those are just some of the areas that we are searching.
Valvo said those areas are logical places to search given the recent discoveries. In addition to 3 helicopters, 60 troopers were involved in the search, as well as officers from other agencies. Early this afternoon, 2 horses from the Rochester Police Mounted Patrol were brought in. They were later joined by 3 other horses from the Sheriff's Department. Police say the horses are beneficial because they give officers a better vantage point and they can make it through just about any kind of terrain. The officers on horseback were looking for clothing or any objects out of the ordinary. While weather conditions are better than they were Sunday, the task is still difficult.
Well, it's obvious because there are a lot of places that have a great deal of snow out there, even though some of it has melted recently, which has certainly aided us in the investigation. But by the same token, the snow is also hampering our investigation.
Developments in the case will dictate whether the search continues. Warren White, News Source 13.
Now, just to recap the latest on this case, police now have in custody a man, an older man that they are questioning, and we're told that he may be connected to 10 of the 14 homicides.
And David Burns is with 13 Live at the Hall of Justice and Public Safety Building, and we will rejoin him throughout this newscast as we receive any further developments on that.
Still to come, a self-proclaimed anti-gay group will be spending time in jail.
And Operation Just Cause is a success. Manuel Noriega arraigned in Miami.
Enough already. I gave up red meat. I haven't had an egg since Easter, 1984. And now there's cheese low in cholesterol. So I asked my friend Carol, have you tried cheese that's low in cholesterol? You're eating it now? She said. This? I said. This tastes too good. Aha, she said. Aha. Aha.
Kraft Light Naturals, reduced fat cheese that tastes like cheese.
Lauer's annual January clearance sale is now in progress. Shop now through Sunday for sensational savings of 20 to 70%. Lauer's, Monroe Avenue.
Check the content of some advertising media, and this is what you'll find. Maybe that's why year after year, this one carries so much weight with your customers. The official Rochester Telephone Yellow Pages, the one to turn to.
We've had Rochester radar for about 8 years, so there's 8 years of experience that nobody else in Rochester has. We're the ones, and you just can't get any better than that.
Thanks to you, for many of the less fortunate in our community, this holiday was a little brighter, a little warmer, a little healthier, a little more joyful, and a lot more fun.
With the help of Volunteers of America, WOKR 13, Wegmans, and First Federal Savings, you brought the true spirit of the season to those in need. Thank you for giving a gift from the heart.
This portion of News Source 13 is brought to you by Dorschel, Buick, Toyota, Saab, and Isuzu.
Manuel Noriega, the deposed leader of Panama, has now entered the United States legal system. Noriega was arraigned this afternoon on drug trafficking charges at a U.S. district court in Miami. He reportedly remained silent throughout the entire proceeding. A plea of innocence was entered on Noriega's behalf. He remains in custody without bond. More on the story from ABC's World News Tonight at 6:30.
And much closer to home, sentencing today for 5 teenagers claiming to be part of a racist anti-gay group. The 5 pled guilty late last year to second-degree attempted robbery, that in connection with the attack of a man in Highland Park. The defendants Timothy Waite, Andrew John Rowe, Eric Hoyas, Eric Warner, and Aaron Lowe will spend 6 months in the county jail. In statements made to police, the teenagers claimed not to like blacks or homosexuals and would attack men they believed to be gay in remote sections of that park.
Rochester's school board leadership has changed. Meeting this noon, the board elected a new president, Catherine Spoto. After the roll was called, Spoto had 4 votes. Current board president Ben Douglas had 3. Douglas had been seeking a 3rd term as president.
Rochester police continue their search for a suspect wanted for an early afternoon bank robbery. It's the first robbery of the new year occurring at the Key Bank on East Ridge Road. Police say a man walked into the branch office, demanded money by handing a teller a note. That note claimed the man was carrying a gun, but none was shown. The suspect remains at large tonight. He was last seen heading east on foot.
Well, if you were disappointed that your lottery numbers weren't winning ones last night, that's okay, because no one won. So that means Saturday's lotto game will have a $30 million jackpot. Yesterday's drawing, was the 6th in a row without a winner. So good luck to everyone trying for the next one.
Well, coming up later in sports with Mike Catalano, the Bills and the Browns facing playoff pressure.
And how long will the mild weather last?
Well, at least it's going to last tonight. It's kind of wet out there, kind of dreary, but you can bet some of that fun winter weather is going to make a return. I'll have a complete look at the forecast and live Rochester radar coming up next.
Dorschel sells more Buicks than any dealer in New York State for many good reasons. Reason number 10 is our no-hassle low prices. Treat yourself to the performance and quality of a new Buick Century. Dorschel priced at only $12,997 delivered. This special Dorschel price includes V6 engine, automatic, power steering and brakes, stereo radio, air conditioning, tilt wheel, and more. All just $12,997 including rebate. I'm sure you'll find Dorschel treats you right for many good reasons. Dorschel Buick, West Henrietta Road between Southtown and Marketplace Mall.
When you want news, weather, sports, stock information, or more 24 hours a day, call the free WOKR Rochester Telephone Informer. By dialing 777 WOKR, you'll get up-to-the-minute information. The Rochester Telephone Informer. One more reason why WOKR is Rochester's News Source 13.
Have you been to Arby's lately? We're more than great slow-roasted roast beef sandwiches. Try our 100% chicken breast filet sandwich on a poppy seed roll. Or scrumptious beef and cheddar with tangy cheddar cheese on an onion roll. Extra large super stuffed baked potatoes. Or a mouth-watering Philly beef and Swiss with sautéed peppers and onions. Our famous Jamocha shakes. Or our unique curly fries. Great variety, super values, and only at Arby's. Taste the Arby's difference today.
At Ryder's Furniture Warehouse Outlet, we're going to change the way you shop for furniture with unbeatable warehouse to your house prices every day. Warehouse to your house means you'll save like never before on name brand furniture for every room in your home. So why wait for a sale? The beautiful furniture you've dreamed of is affordable today at Ryder's Furniture Warehouse Outlet, Brighton Henrietta Town Line Road next to BJ's Wholesale Club and Exchange Street in Geneva.
Through the magic of remote control
at Snow Country's January ski clearance.
And I'm taking up to 50% off selected ski clothing.
Wrong channel, Mitch. I'm not taking up to 50% off ski clothing with some of the best skiing still ahead.
But I'm also taking up to 50% off selected ski equipment.
Mitch, there's not a remote possibility of taking up to 50% off ski equipment this early.
Skiers, don't be turned off. See me for up to 50% off during Snow Country's January ski clearance.
This portion of News Source 13 is brought to you by Wendy's.
Before we get into weather, an update to pass along about Bill Peterson. He is doing much better and will be back to work on Monday.
Monday morning, bright and early, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you might say, and had a lot of fun working during the week. So I'll be in one more day, and then join me in the morning because I'll be there with Jenny and Ryan.
We'll do that.
Fun weather today. We're getting some of the rain. A lot of the snow is melting out there, and it looks like it's going to change, though. The folks that want the winter weather and some of the snow, it's going to make a return. We're going to take a look at a Rochester radar time-lapse and put some of the weather into motion. This is the 125 nautical mile range, and it's going back till about 12:30 this afternoon. We didn't have a lot of rain. Scattered rain showers, a little bit of drizzle off and on, but then a nice big band of rain showers moves in just in time for the rush hour, and we've had a fairly steady rain for the last hour or so. Live Rochester radar now. We're zooming in. This is the 50-mile range up close, and this is showing what's going on at the moment. A lot of the rain has begun to taper off. Most of this is in the form of light rain extending in through Wayne County down to the south toward Canandaigua, around the New York State Thruway, and then back towards Batavia. Looks like the rain showers will be off and on through the evening, and with colder temperatures, you guessed it, it will start to change over to a little bit of snow. Here's a look at our numbers for today. The almanac. The high temperature, it was balmy out there. We got up to 48 degrees. The overnight low temperature only down to 41, well above the average. Of course, the combination of the mild temperatures and the rain, a lot of our snow is disappearing out there. We do have a rain shower, temperature 47 degrees, very mild, at least for now. Relative humidity is high. The winds were really picking up early on. They're beginning to die down a little bit now out of the southwest at 14. The barometer is actually bottomed out and now beginning to rise as that storm system is now moving away from us. Our weather spotter for today is Jack Harper over at Kendall, and he says he confirms a lot of that snow is going very quickly. I think it's been well over a month since we've seen the bare ground. I think, though, we're going to have a little more snow to cover it up as we start heading into the weekend. Current temperature by Jack now is at 43 degrees. Temperatures around the region now mainly in the 40s, 39 though up at Ottawa, 45 at Watertown, 47 at Rochester, 39 at Toronto. Now temperatures not too bad right now, but we think sometime after midnight temperatures will begin to drop down, probably below freezing. That's when it'll start to change over to snow flurries. Right now we do not expect any kind of significant accumulation. I think just a dusting in some areas. Now here's a look at the national satellite picture. You can see a big swath of moisture coming in from Old Mexico. This is actually the subtropical jet feeding into the system, and it goes way into the east coast. A lot of heavier rains down to the south, some heavier thunderstorms, and the storm is exiting, as we said. It's not all in the form of rain. They have had some snow in parts of Iowa, somewhere around 5 to 9 inches of snow. We're not going to have any problem with that. In fact, we're going to get a little bit of sunshine, I think, as we start heading into the weekend. Here's a look at our national map, put on some of the weather symbols. There's the area of low pressure just back to our west and to the north, and it is pushing to the north. Mild air being squeezed off the east coast. There's some of the very cold air that'll start to plunge to the south and to the east. And come Friday, tomorrow, we'll be in the cooler air. Temperatures actually very seasonal, typical for this time of the year. We should be up around 32 degrees. Again, watch for some of the slick spots and some of the roadways. Now the blast of cold air will come in for the weekend, just kind of reinforce things to keep the snow flurries around as we head into Sunday. Here's a check of our weather forecast for tonight. We will find periods of rain through the early part of the evening. It'll be tapering off, and then sometime around midnight it'll start to change over to snow flurries. Temperatures by morning will be down around 29 degrees. The winds will also die down also. For Friday, we will find, we'll call it partly sunny skies, at least by the afternoon. A couple of snow flurries here and there. It will be much cooler. High temperature only about 32 degrees. And our 3-day outlook for Saturday and Sunday and Monday, really, snow flurries and just seasonal temperatures, typical for this time of the year. So we're getting some of that colder weather, but nothing all that extreme, which is kind of nice.
Okay, thanks, Glenn.
Sure.
We turn our attention to Wall Street now, where the stock market gave ground today. The Dow Jones Industrials lost 13.5 points. Decliners led gainers by about 3 to 2 as 178 million shares were exchanged. Here are some issues of local interest. And Mike Catalana up next with sports.
Don, there could be a major shakeup in the works in the American Hockey League. We'll have details on that. Plus, we'll have our Plays of the Week. Sports is coming up next.
Coach, the traditional now, I guess.
The Wendy's Motorsport Winter Nationals featuring the original monster truck Bigfoot and the Wendy's Philly Swiss Burger return to Rochester. Loaded with fresh taste, served sizzling hot. The ultimate in monster truck excitement and hamburger eating. Right now, grab a small fry, 16-ounce drink, and Philly Swiss Burger for just $3.49. Pick up a $2 discount coupon for the Wendy's Winter Nationals, January 19th and 20th at the Rochester War Memorial Arena. Grab a monster meal, Philly Swiss Burger, small fry, and 16-ounce drink for just $3.49.
Good evening, this is your TV13 ski report. None of our ski locations reporting any new snow. Bristol Mountain has a 20 to 50 inch base, 22 trails are open. Swain has loose granular conditions, 15 trails. Greek Peak has a 10 to 25 inch base, 13 trails are open. Holiday Valley has wet granular conditions, 20 to 40 inch base. Hunt Hollow has an 18 to 48 inch base, 17 trails are open. And Brantling has a 10 to 30 inch base, spring conditions with 3 trails open.
You wore it only once a week, called it your Sunday best. And though you dreamed of dressing like a princess every day, somehow you knew. Part of special is sometimes. At Bob Evans Sausage, we say, if you can't eat sausage every day, you can't eat everyday sausage. So ours is special, made with the leanest pork, old-fashioned spices, and delivered fresh. Some things never change. Some things never should. Bob Evans Sausage.
The bridal event of the year, the 22nd Annual Bridal Showcase, Sunday, January 7th, Holiday Inn downtown, presented by Bridal Hall and WOKR 13. See the world's foremost designers of bridal fashions, Rochester's bridal show of shows. Win a Caribbean trip for 2 on American Airlines, courtesy of VIP travel service. Sign up now for your free tickets at these participating merchants, or call Bridal Hall 225-3500. Bridal Showcase, January 7th, Holiday Inn downtown.
See, I did a character on Saturday Night Live, you know? I did a whiner, man. And I always thought, yeah, I'll work out, but I always made these excuses like, oh, it takes too long. I don't have the energy. I have to work tomorrow. Just get off your butt and get in the gym.
Get into Holiday Fitness Center now, while you can join and pay nothing for 30 days.
This portion of News Source 13 is brought to you by Long Ridge Mall.
Mike Catalano here with a look at sports and something happening in the AHL.
Yeah,
we'll talk about.
Teams like the Emmerichs have it ideally where the parent team is in Buffalo. It's a short trip up the thruway, so they're close. And that's what a lot of teams want to work towards, Don. According to a Binghamton television station, WICZ-TV, the American Hockey League is on the verge of some major changes. Now, the franchise in Binghamton, currently affiliated with the Hartford Whalers, could be moving. The Whalers would move that team to Springfield, Mass., making player moves more convenient. The team in Springfield, run by the New York Islanders, would move a little closer to New York and take up residence in New Haven. Now, of course, there's already a team in New Haven, so they'd move. The Nighthawks would go to Phoenix and take residence in the International League, closer to their parent team, the LA Kings. And finally, not to forget about the city of Binghamton, the Rangers minor league affiliate, currently in Flint in the International League, would move to Binghamton. Now, after all is said and done, the AHL would remain with the same amount of teams in the same cities. The affiliations with the NHL would change. A spokesman for the Binghamton Whalers says an announcement is expected next week. Saturday afternoon, the Bills and the Browns will play for the rights to be in the AFC Championship. Neither team has been what you would call a powerhouse this year, but the most consistent group for both teams has been the Browns' defense.
You know, they're real aggressive. They take a lot of chances, but the chance that they do take, they come through on them. And I think one thing that has helped them is that they take the ball away from the offense a lot, and that's what we have to be careful of. We can't allow them to take the ball away from us and make silly mistakes.
A lot of things where we are closer. Records are very similar, 9-6-1, 9-7. Statistically, we rank fourth, they rank sixth, things of that nature. But what's the difference going to be? How you play on game day.
Now, we will be in Cleveland tomorrow, and I'll have previews of the game on News Source 13 at both 6 and 11 o'clock. Rumors persist that the Oilers will fire their head coach, Jerry Glanville. He must believe those rumors because he interviewed with the Atlanta Falcons yesterday. The Sacramento Kings are doing their part for the recycling effort by hiring former Bullets and Mavericks head coach Dick Motta to run their team. Pittsburgh and Syracuse last night in the Big East, and Syracuse had a battle on their hands. The early alley-oop here to Martin for the slam, and Pitt led at 1 point by 16, but Syracuse would come back. Watch Derek Coleman make the steal, behind the back, and the dunk. Now, SU was down 1 in the final seconds, but newcomer LaRon Ellis makes the block and sends Stephen Thompson away for the dunk. Number 1 Syracuse holds on for the 2-point win. Now, we weren't quite ready to go on the field with the 90s first edition of the Plays of the Week, so we had to stay on the sideline to find the good, bad, and ugly. You thought Lou Holtz was mad of the unsuspecting Larry Smith got his field bath. The Michigan players wanted to get Bo Schembechler in his last game. That probably wouldn't have been a good idea. And this Alabama player had planned on dousing his coach, Bill Curry. Not a good plan. No Gatorade involved here, but anytime two coaches go at it in suits, it's worth another look. CBA action, it's fantastic. This is Charlie Rosen, the coach of the Rockford Lightning. Now, he wanted to get after the coach of Cedar Rapids. Even the gorilla was going to get involved. Later, they went at it in the locker room. Now, it extended for 20 minutes after the game. Rosen was ejected, fined, suspended, and arrested. And to make matters worse, he lost the game. His team, this guy used to be an English professor and a writer of poetry, and now he's a coach.
You're stuck with a gorilla.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Still to come, we'll take one more peek at the soggy weather.
We'll be right back.
Tied up in knots over choosing gifts? Turn frenzy into easy fun. To celebrate any occasion, give a Long Ridge Mall gift certificate. Available in a wide range of convenient denominations. On sale year-round. Gift boxes, too. A kick to receive. Long Ridge certificates can be used in all 75 famous Long Ridge stores. Great idea for every he and she. A Long Ridge Mall gift certificate. They'll love it.
Going to Long Ridge Mall. Doing Long Ridge Mall.
By authority of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Marple Furniture is having a going-out-of-business sale. Save 30 to 68% on quality name-brand furnishings. Savings on all living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, bedding, recliners, lamps, and accessories. Everything must go. We're selling out to the bare walls. Financing is available. MasterCard and Visa accepted. Our cash need is your cash gain. Don't miss Marple's going-out-of-business sale going on now. Open 7 days.
All kinds of things you use every day are on sale this week at CVS at unusually low prices. Like Dimetap for colds and allergies. 4-ounce elixir or 12-count extend tabs are just $2.69 this week. And Ultra Slim Fast in assorted flavors. The 14-ounce size is just $5.69 at today's neighborhood drugstore.
Save your dough. For a limited time, Domino's Pizza has a New Year's deal. 2 pizzas each with 1 topping for only $10.95. You can't get this deal just anywhere, so why go anywhere? Call Domino's Pizza on the double. We'll be there in 30 minutes or less, hot and fresh. 2 pizzas for $10.95. Call Domino's Pizza. Nobody delivers better. Nobody. Offer may vary.
Earlier in this half hour, we told you about a possible break in Rochester's case of 14 unsolved homicides in this area over the last 2 years. David Burns is standing by live right now to give us an update. There has been, I understand, a suspect in questioning this afternoon, and perhaps you can tell us more about that, David.
Okay, Diana, we are told by a source that a suspect is in custody, has been linked to as many as 10 of the killings over the past 2 years. I mentioned that we're told that by a source that he has made a confession. I think that's an important thing and might explain perhaps why top police officials have been ensconced in the 4th floor of the public safety building for, about 3 hours now. They're still there. The latest word is that there will be a press conference tomorrow at 11 o'clock called by the state police. We'll see what details we can ferret out this evening and have tonight at 11. Diana?
All right, thank you, David Burns.
And of course, as those developments proceed tonight, we will have a complete report for you coming up tonight at 11. Some other items as well. We will continue our look at developments tonight in the public safety building, as we just said, and also tonight at 11, Gary Nuremberg reports from Panama. With Manuel Noriega in U.S. custody, Panamanians celebrate their new life without his regime. All of that coming up tonight at 11. Well, finally tonight, a touch of Sesame Street has come to the Strong Memorial's Children's area today. Grover making a special visit to the Children's Wing. The special Sesame Street live show opens at the War Memorial tonight. It will run through Sunday. Now, youngsters who are hospitalized might not be able to get to the show, so a part of the show, Grover, came to them. That's, by the way, is Sesame Street Live's 10th anniversary tour.
And the forecast quickly is?
The rain's going to change the snow, little slick spots on some of the roads.
All right, ABC World News Tonight is next.
And we'll have more at 11 from News Source 13.
News Source 13 closed captioning is made possible by Citibank.
From WOKR Rochester, this is News Source 13 with Don Alhart, Wanda Miller, meteorologist Bill Peterson, and Mike Catalana on sports.
This is the man who is believed to have kept a community on edge for several months. His name, 45-year-old Arthur Shawcross of Rochester. Following an intense investigation by police, they now feel this is the man responsible for 10 killings, murders of women that were once believed to have been too many to have been committed by one man. Good evening. Wanda Miller has the week off. Well, tonight, as we mentioned, some dramatic developments in the case. This man has led police to the bodies of 2 more women tonight, we are told. State police are searching northwest of Brockport at the direction of Arthur Shawcross, a search that is going on right now. Doug Embledge is with 13 Live on Redmond Road and has more for us. Doug?
Don, what had been a slow, agonizing process all of a sudden has turned into something fast and furious because of the discovery of the suspect, now the discovery of 2 more bodies tonight, including one about a mile north from where I am standing. I'm at Redmond Road and Route 104. There you see the crime scene. Police are on the scene. They've discovered a body here. They are not saying a lot more than that. It's believed Redmond Road in this area will be shut off tomorrow morning because that's when Police want to move in along with the help of a medical examiner, examine the crime scene, and then go about the business of removing the body. What makes the discovery tonight different, it came with the help of a suspect for the first time in this investigation. Now, we mentioned there were 2 bodies found tonight. That is indeed the truth. The one here in Clarkson, another in the town of Greece on Island Cottage Road. That one, too, will not be removed tonight. The crime scene will be guarded overnight, and then police and the medical examiners will move in the morning and remove that body as well. Again, that body discovered with the help of the suspect, Arthur Shawcross. So police, as we said, had been going through a long, slow, agonizing process. Now, with the arrest of a suspect, suddenly these bodies that had been a mystery, their whereabouts had been a mystery, are turning up with his help. One here in Clarkson tonight, Don, another in the town of Greece.
Okay, Doug, thank you very much. Again, there has been no confirmation, of course. Police are not saying much tonight. We'll find out more about that in a moment. Any chance for you to see the suspect or confirm at all that indeed it is Arthur Shawcross that they have been escorting around tonight?
Well, that is the report we received, and that is what we believe has brought them to these crime scenes. With the deliberateness of their procedure here from downtown where they were interviewing the suspect today out to these crime scenes, that is what we believe, but we want to stress that that has not been confirmed, that we do not know for sure that it is Shawcross who led them to these crime scenes, but that is what we've been led to believe by some police contacts we've made tonight.
Okay, thank you, Doug Embridge with 13 Live tonight. Well, it is a story that has held the city's attention for months now. The unsolved murders of more than a dozen city women. Tonight, police say they finally have the break that they have been working for, and they have made an arrest. Peg Risconi has been following the story and joins us now with details, telling us more about the suspect and what we know about him from our investigations tonight. Peg?
Well, as we've mentioned earlier, Don, his name is Arthur Shawcross, and a source in law enforcement tells us he has confessed to 10 murders. But the people who live in his apartment building on Alexander Street say they're shocked by the allegations tonight. They say he appeared to be a normal person leading a normal life. Arthur Shawcross is in his mid-40s and, according to a law enforcement source, fits the classic profile for suspects in cases like this. He has a steady job. He worked the overnight shift at G&G Food Service on East Main Street. He's lived in this apartment building at 241 Alexander Street for at least 3 years. One of his best friends says she's shocked by the allegations.
I would really be truly shocked if he had done that. No.
Rosler says Shawcross and his wife Rose, who he married in August, were among her best friends.
He knows all my children, my grandchildren. I have children in New York. They know him all. Every time I've had a dinner party, he and his wife Rose, they went to my daughter's house here in Rochester.
The same shock was expressed by Shawcross's landlady, who didn't want to talk on camera, but showed us the one-bedroom apartment Shawcross rented. She described Shawcross as an ideal tenant who paid his rent on time. She says Shawcross was the guy who always volunteered to shovel the walk in the winter and watered the grass in the summer. Although she describes him as friendly and outgoing, many others in the building didn't know him and say nothing about Shawcross stood out in their minds.
No, I didn't know him at all. I mean, I'd seen him a couple times maybe, but, you know, didn't know him personally or anything.
I've lived here almost 5 years, but I hardly know my neighbors. That's not a thing I can say. Wish I could.
People in the apartment building on Alexander Street say Shawcross was questioned by police yesterday, released, and taken back into custody today. Also, although Shawcross was married for the past few months, we're told he was also involved with another woman, and she is being questioned also by police, Don.
Okay, we did talk to some people in the Alexander Street neighborhood as well tonight. People generally shocked, at least when they hear this person is being questioned. We stress that again, questioned, and probably will be arraigned tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay, thank you, Peg Risconi. Words tonight also from family members of Shawcross' girlfriend, Clara Neal. Neal's son, Robert, says the family has known Art Shawcross for about a year and a half now.
What makes you think of Art?
Art is a alright guy. He's always been good to me. He tries to be good to anybody. Because he's never done nothing to mistreat me. He's never mistreated my mother, which I respect a guy for that.
Now, just before we interviewed Neal tonight, he received a call from his brother saying that their mother, Clara Neal, is being treated for nervous exhaustion at Rochester General Hospital. Hospital officials do confirm that tonight. We're told that her condition is listed as satisfactory. It is not known whether Neal will be admitted for further treatment. Well, as we said, virtually everything we are reporting tonight about this case comes from unofficial sources. For reasons known only to themselves, police are saying nothing officially or on the record. David Burns reports.
Well set.
The official word from police and prosecutors tonight has been no comment. Reporters camped out at the Public Safety Building buttonholed virtually every high-level official to get confirmation or denial of the story that was fast emerging unofficially from inside sources.
Yeah, talk to Chief Urlacher, really. You'll really have to talk to him. No, we can't say anything.
But Police Chief Gordon Urlacher waved the press away. Another official said there was a reason why nothing could be said, but that reason couldn't be told either. A police spokesman emerged to promise more tomorrow.
There will be a press conference tomorrow morning at 11:30 at the Canandaigua Barracks. And that will be the official statements made. There will be no other ones made tonight.
Why?
That's it.
What ones have been made tonight?
By mid-evening, however, most of the key facts were already circulating, leaving the police reluctant to talk only a minor mystery of a much larger story. David Burns, News Source 13.
News that a suspect is in custody traveled swiftly to the many relatives and friends of women who have been killed over the past 2 years. Charlotte Stevens has more in this report.
The people who've been waiting the most for word that a suspect has been caught are the many relatives of the women who've been killed over the past 2 years. People like Viola Brown, whose granddaughter Frances's body was found strangled in the Genesee River Gorge. If indeed this suspect is the person responsible for Franny's death, the Brown family is relieved.
I do feel better already that they caught somebody, because there's been too many killings. Too many now.
Frances Brown was linked to prostitution. She also used drugs, but her family says she didn't deserve to die because of her lifestyle. Viola Brown recalls her granddaughter's frequent visitors. Some of them were older men.
To think that he came to the house and everything and talked to me and everything, and then to find out that he turned around and killed her, I'd like to go kill him.
It's a known fact the Lyle-Saratoga Avenue neighborhood is frequented by prostitutes. In fact, many of the women who've died over the past 2 years have worked these very streets. Even with the milder temperatures tonight, these streets are empty. And to people who live in this neighborhood, that is surprising.
I still see them out here. They don't listen. To them, it's their way of living. They're going to keep continuing to do it.
A lot of them are just kids. I mean, I think this man, if this is the real man that did it, he really admitted that he did, he should be hung.
If I was one of them, a girl or something, or a woman, I wouldn't want to be out there walking around and getting killed. You never know who's going to pick them up. They could even know the guy that's doing it to them.
There are still some women who will get into the car of a stranger, killings or not. For them, working the streets is like playing Russian roulette, a gamble every time. Charlotte Stevens, News Source 13.
Meanwhile, amidst all the attention aimed at tonight's breakthrough in the case, police are still trying to identify the latest woman's body found. A hunter came across a female body this morning near Colby Street in Sweden, just west of Northampton Park. Police know it is a black woman, but they haven't identified her yet. Since last Sunday, police have been looking for Felicia Stevens. Her clothes were found in the park last week. Today's body was found less than a block away from where the clothes were found. Searchers on foot, in helicopters today, and on horseback as well, continuing to look for more clues and more bodies. The massive investigation is the largest search of its kind in that area, and as we said, the search continued tonight as the suspect led police out there. Meanwhile, the body found yesterday in the park has been identified. State police say the body is that of 34-year-old June Cicero. She was last seen on Lyle Avenue back on December 17th. Police say that Cicero did have a history of prostitution and drug use. Autopsy results are expected sometime tomorrow morning. Well, with today's developments, our recent string of murders of women, many linked to drugs and prostitution, may have come to an end. It is a story that began almost 2 years ago. It was March of 1988. The body of 24-year-old Nicola Gursky found behind a bar on Lake Avenue. She had been shot to death. Just over a week later, 27-year-old Dorothy Blackburn's body was found in Salmon Creek in Northampton Park, the same park where bodies were discovered yesterday and today. She had been strangled. September of '88. 28-year-old Anne-Marie Steffen, her body found in the Genesee River Gorge near the Driving Park Bridge. March of '89, Rosalie Opal, 46 years old. Her body found in a wooded area north of the inner loop. In August of last year, the body of 27-year-old Jacqueline Dicker found along the shoulder of the road in Gates. She had been strangled. October of '89, 35-year-old Linda Himes struck by a car on Route 490. October 21st, 1989, 25-year-old Patricia Ives, her body found near the River Gorge near the Maplewood YMCA. November of 1989, 22-year-old Frances Brown, again the River Gorge near Seth Green Drive. She had been strangled. November of '89, Kimberly Denise Logan, found dead in a yard on Meg Street. Also November, 29-year-old June Stotts, her body found near the Turning Point Park in Charlotte. Later in November, Elizabeth Gibson's body, discovered in a field in Wayne County. And as reported, the body of June Cicero, found yesterday in Northampton Park. And as we said just a little bit earlier, 45-year-old Arthur Shawcross, in custody tonight, has led state police, we are told, to 2 more bodies. They will be actually recovered tomorrow. We're going to check with Doug Embers later on with 13 Live. He is out at the location. Again, 2 more bodies have been recovered, and we'll have more on Arthur Shawcross and that investigation a little bit later on in this broadcast. A busy night indeed tonight. Time now for our first look at the weather. We'll shift to the weather and Glenn Johnson in tonight.
Don, we still have the mild temperatures. A lot of folks enjoying the mild weather, but you knew we were due for a change sooner or later. First look shows tomorrow morning what you can expect. Temperature will be about 29 degrees. That is considerably colder than we've had the last couple of days, and it is back to winter. We're going to see a little bit of snow off and on, and we're going to talk about the weekend too, what we can expect for Saturday and Sunday with a complete look at the forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. Well, still to come tonight from News Source 13, the first local bank robbery of this new year. And with Noriega in custody, a U.S. congressional delegation heads to Panama.
Check the content of some advertising media, and this is what you'll find. Maybe that's why year after year, this one carries so much weight with your customers. The official Rochester Telephone Yellow Pages, the one to turn to.
Enjoy New York's favorite winter sport. Join WOKR 13, Greek Peak, and 96 WCMF for a great day of skiing. And help fight child abuse with the Adamall Ski Shuttle to Greek Peak on Sunday, January 7th. You'll get round-trip transportation to Greek Peak, an all-day lift ticket, and free instruction. Tickets are $25 and available at all Sportacular locations. Proceeds to benefit the Adamall's Child Resource Center. Ski the Peak with WOKR 13 and help keep our children safe.
Lauer's annual January clearance sale is now in progress. Shop now through Sunday for sensational savings of 20 to 70%. Lauer's, Monroe Avenue.
Donahue. One word says it all.
Donahue, weekday mornings at 9 on 13.
Some brief headline updates tonight include a 15-year prison sentence for a former Monroe County Sheriff's deputy. 49-year-old William Sexton was convicted of setting fire to a building in 1984 to collect insurance money. 5 local teenagers handed sentences of 6 months in the county jail today. The 6, who claimed to be part of a racist anti-gay group, pleaded guilty to attacking a man in Highland Park last year. The first local bank robbery of this new year. The suspect used a threatening note today and escaped with cash from the Key Bank on East Ridge Road. And new leadership for the Rochester School Board. On a 4-3 vote, Catherine Spoto defeated incumbent President Ben Douglas today. We turn our attention now to Miami. General Manuel Noriega was arraigned there on drug charges today. He remained silent as a federal judge entered an innocent plea to the charges. Noriega's lawyer claims the deposed leader is a political prisoner and should be given diplomatic immunity, a claim that legal experts are giving little credence to. Meanwhile, a U.S. congressional delegation is in Panama to begin the process of restoring democracy. We have more from our Washington correspondent, Gary Nuremberg, in Panama City.
The 30 members of Congress have foreign policy and military oversight responsibilities. They left Andrews Air Force Base less than 6 hours after Noriega arrived in Florida.
I think all of us are very happy that this has taken place, and we commend the President for being able to achieve the military objectives that he set out.
Though much of the trip will be spent reviewing America's military, Congress also wants to hear from Panamanians, and what it's hearing today is gratitude. gratitude and relief that Manuel Noriega is finally a part of Panama's past.
In Panama City, we are really glad. Last night was a carnival all over the country, not only in Panama City, all over the country.
As the sun set on Panama tonight, the mood was more subdued. But that congressional delegation is still finding a Panama far more happy than it was only 24 hours ago. Gary Nuremberg, News Source 13, Panama City.
And elsewhere in brief around the world tonight, more than 200 people killed, 700 injured when a passenger train rammed a freight train in Pakistan today. The train apparently was directed onto the wrong track. That crash occurred about 225 miles north of Karachi. And a massive oil spill threatening the Moroccan coast has begun to break up now. 70,000 tons of oil spilled from an Iranian tanker. High waves are breaking up that spill. Well, your forecast heading into the first weekend of the year is coming up next from meteorologist Glenn Johnson. And later in sports, John Kutchko with NHL highlights as Gretzky hits the East Coast.
Centering, and it hit the post. John Tonelli. Out to Brown to Mark Johnson.
Honda is beautifully restyled for 1990. At Dick Ide Honda, you don't have to brush the snow off just to have a peek. Dick Ide has the largest indoor showroom in New York State. Dick Ide Honda has more Hondas in his showroom than all the other area dealers combined. Dick Ide does business a simple way. We discount Hondas and treat our customers like gold.
The difference is worth the drive to Dick Ide Honda.
Come on in for a great selection.
When you want news, weather, sports, stock information, or more 24 hours a day, call the free WOKR Rochester Telephone Informer. By dialing 777 WOKR, you'll get up-to-the-minute information. The Rochester Telephone Informer. One more reason why WOKR is Rochester's News Source 13.
I can't believe I put on all this weight.
You camped by the food at every party. Let's resolve to eat right.
From Tops Country Fresh Farms natural chicken and Golden Trim light beef to Tops brand products with nutritional labeling, Tops has what you need to eat right year-round. Right now, during Tops Diet Sale, you'll save in every aisle. Plus, you could win a California vacation.
You look great.
Tops Diet Sale, it's worth getting to.
Tops never stops.
Through the magic of remote control
at Snow Country's January ski clearance.
And I'm taking up to 50% off selected ski clothing.
Wrong channel, Mitch. I'm not taking up to 50% off ski clothing with some of the best skiing still ahead.
But I'm also taking up to 50% off selected ski equipment.
Mitch, there's not a remote possibility of taking up to 50% off ski equipment this early.
Skiers, don't be turned off. See me for up to 50% off during Snow Country's January ski clearance.
The 80s. A decade of firsts for Rochester from News Source 13. Rochester's first and only locally based weather radar. Rochester's first early morning newscast. Rochester's first and only closed caption news. Rochester's first early evening news. Rochester's leader in television news, continuing its commitment into the 90s. Rochester's choice, News Source 13.
This portion of News Source 13 is brought to you by Lazy Boy.
We've had a little respite from our cold winter weather. Almost mild today. Did we get up to 50? Almost, though, I bet.
We came close. Some outlying areas get up to about 50 degrees. Some of our weather spot is calling in. Officially, I think we got up to about 48 degrees, so not too bad. But, you know, the pendulum is swinging the other way. Some of that cold air is on the way, Don. Let's take a look at the almanac and see what the high temperature was. We did get up to 48 degrees for the high temperature. The low temperature, in fact, is our current temperature. It continues to drop off. We're at 36 degrees, but still well above average, but things are going to be evening out, of course, over the next couple of days. Here's a look at present conditions now. We do have the cloudy skies. The temperature is at 36 degrees. Relative humidity still high at 82%. Now, the winds were really picking up at times earlier today, really blowing the rain around, but still out of the west at 15, and the barometer is rising very quickly, 29.90 inches of mercury. Our weather spotter for tonight, Tom Janes down at Cast Island, you know, he puts it very correctly. We did not get a lot of rain, really, but all that snow that is melting out there, of course, we have a lot of muddy conditions, so beware of that as you're out walking around tomorrow. Current temperature by Tom now down in Cast Isle is at 40 degrees, and actually he's one of the warm spots when you compare it to the rest of the weather spotter network. Just about everybody else is in the 30s. Mendon, the cool spot at 31, 36 at Irondequoit, 35 at Gates, 38 degrees over at Kendall. Now, take a look around New York State, and you're going to notice that Albany is actually the mild spot. They have a temperature of 44 degrees. We have a cool front that is actually slicing through the state right now. When you work your way back out to the west, that's where you find the cooler temperatures, 34 over Jamestown. We think that by tomorrow morning, temperatures will be down to about 29. We're not looking for any real significant snow, but watch with all the wet spots. Could be some slick spots on some of the roadways tomorrow morning. Leave a little extra time. We're going to go to the satellite time lapse, put some of those clouds into motion. This is the national view, and it's going back to the early morning hours. You can see all the moisture that we had up and down the East Coast, a lot of moisture coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico. But watch as it is exiting in through the Canadian Maritime. We're drying things out in through the Great Lakes, and that is really good news tomorrow. If you want to see some sunshine, we think we're going to get it tomorrow. Another system developing back to the west, but let's go in for a closer look. This is the northeast view, and you can see the brighter white clouds are down to the south. Some of those clouds beginning to break up, and we'll give you even a different perspective. This is the 3D satellite picture, and you can see Rochester right in the middle here. Some of those clouds beginning to break up here and then in through Ontario. We think we'll see at least partly sunny skies as we go into tomorrow afternoon to finish up the work week. Now here's a look at our national map. We'll put on the weather symbols. Why the change? Why all of a sudden is the temperature dropping? We can blame it on this cool front that is coming through right now. That is squeezing off a lot of the mild air off the East Coast, some of that cooler, drier air coming in behind the system. Nothing all that extreme. Temperatures are going to be very typical for this time of the year for tomorrow, up around 32 degrees. There's still more cold air, of course, up around Canada. That will come in, we think, for the weekend. Again, nothing all that extreme, but it'll just kind of reinforce some of that cold weather for the weekend. We'll see snow flurries off and on right into Saturday and into Sunday. Here's a check of our weather forecast, and for the remainder of tonight, it's going to be turning colder again. Any spotty drizzle or showers out there will begin to change over to snow flurries. Nothing all that significant. If we do get any accumulation, it'll be a dusting, but watch some of those slick spots in some of the roadways. Temperatures will be down below freezing, about 29 degrees for the early morning hours. And for Friday, we finish up the work week with partly sunny skies. Not a bad day out there. A few snow flurries here and there. It will be noticeably cooler. Temperatures about 32 or 33 degrees for a high. And our 3-day outlook for Saturday, actually just seasonal weather. Typical for this time of the year, should be about 32 degrees, and just what we really expect. We please just about everybody. The skiers will be happy to get some of the colder weather, and nothing all that extreme right now.
Okay, after all, it is winter, so we'll get back to it.
You're right.
Thank you, Glenn. Mike Catalana is on his way to Cleveland for the big Bills game this weekend, and John Kutchko in next with sports.
That's right, Don. Coming up on News Source 13 Sports, we'll tell you about a possible shakeup in the AHL involving 3 teams, and the Bills are ready to take aim at the Browns. We'll hear how they plan to stop the Browns' passing game. Sports is next.
For more than 60 years, we've been everybody's favorite chair.
Oh, good boy.
And here at the Lazy Boy Showcase Shops are values your budget is comfortable with. Lazy Boy rocker recliners from $2.99. Lazy Boy sleep sofas from $4.99. Now it's your Lazy Boy Showcase Shops in Greece and Henrietta.
Good evening. This is your TV13 ski report. None of our ski locations reporting any new snow. Bristol Mountain has a 20 to 50 inch base, 22 trails are open. Swain has loose granular conditions, 15 trails. Greek Peak has a 10 to 25 inch base, 13 trails are open. Holiday Valley has wet granular conditions, 20 to 40 inch base. Hunt Hollow has an 18 to 48 inch base, 17 trails are open. And Brantling has a 10 to 30 inch base, spring conditions with 3 trails open.
This is it, our biggest sale of the year. We've marked down every carpet in stock as much as 70% off. We have $40 carpet, now reduced to $9.99. We mean business.
What about installation?
Install it for free.
Can we mark down remnants another 10%?
Do it.
Our customers want 6 months to pay with no interest.
Just handle it.
What about area rugs?
50% off our entire inventory. Listen, I don't want you to refuse any reasonable offer.
Don't miss the Big Dome Boat Show this Wednesday through Sunday at the Dome Center in Henrietta. There are more boats than ever before and more than 20 dealers ready to help you cruise into the 90s in the boat of your dreams. Take advantage of special boat show incentives. This is the one show you can't afford to miss. Save $1 on adult admission when you clip any of our newspaper ads. The Big Dome Boat Show this Wednesday through Sunday at the Dome Center in Henrietta. The serious boat show for the serious boat buyer.
We mentioned a moment ago, Mike Catalan on the way to Cleveland for the big weekend game. John Kutchko is here with that and more of sports.
Mike will be following a series of reports beginning tomorrow on News Source 13 at 6 o'clock down. You know, the Bills leave for Cleveland tomorrow. Two well-matched teams meeting on Saturday. Two teams that have struggled at different times this season, but both clubs say they have momentum on their side going into the playoffs, especially the Browns. Their passing game has come together recently, the receiving core led by Webster Slaughter. The Bills know they will have their hands full come playoff time on Saturday at Cleveland.
They have a very good core of receivers. They compete real well. I don't think, as far as being natural speeches, they're real fast, but they just compete and go to the ball.
In another divisional matchup this weekend, the Rams will meet the Giants in what could turn out to be a great one. Both teams coming in pretty much at the top of their respective games. A big reason for the Giants' success has been rookie phenom David Meggett, who's headed to the Pro Bowl. He's given his team a whole new dimension, and he also feels the Giants are on a roll.
Well, I feel pretty comfortable right now. You know, right now we're playing well and we're doing the things that we're supposed to do to come out with wins. So going up in this game, you know, it's a playoff game. It's a very important game for us, and I feel pretty confident going into this game.
All right, in hockey, a Binghamton TV station is reporting that there may be a major shakeup in the AHL. WICZ-TV is saying that the Binghamton Whalers will most likely move to Springfield, bringing them just 28 miles from their parent club in Hartford. The Indians would then go to New Haven. Subsequently, the Nighthawks would go out to Phoenix. That would put them closer to their parent team, the LA Kings. Binghamton, though, would not be left without a team. That's because the Flint Spirits of the IHL would supposedly come east. None of this is confirmed, but a Whaler spokesman in Binghamton says an announcement is expected within a week or two. One game in the AHL tonight, the Binghamton Whalers fell on hard times in overtime 5-4 against Newmarket. In the NHL, the Kings taking on the Devils. John McClain here for New Jersey. The shot redirected in by Patrick Sundstrom. That tied the game at 2. Marty McSorley upset with Sundstrom after that play. Third period, Dave Maley. Big game for him. He had 2 goals here, getting his second of the game to give the Devils a go-ahead score. New Jersey goes on to win the final score 4-2 over the Kings. Other NHL scores, Pittsburgh wins by 1. Detroit a winner over Quebec. Boston doubles up Quebec, or I should say Winnipeg. In the third right now, Minnesota all over the Rangers, and in the third, St. Louis leads by 1. In high school hockey, one score to report on: Webster 6-3 over Rush Henrietta. Well, in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings made a move today to bolster their program. They hired Dick Motta as head coach. He'll take over on Saturday. Jerry Reynolds has been serving as interim coach. He'll move up to the front office when Motta takes over. In the NBA tonight, the Knicks taking on the Hawks. The Dominique Wilkins and the Gerald Wilkins show. Dominique with the alley-oop jam there. He had 24, but his brother outdid him in this one, at least from a team standpoint. Mark Jackson with a pick off and the nice pass to Gerald Wilkins. Gerald had 23, but more importantly, his Knicks won 100-95, the final in that one. One other score in the NBA to report on: Minnesota beat Charlotte 100-98. College basketball, number 2 Kansas going up against Wichita State here. Kevin Pritchard with the jam and the steal, making it a blowout for the Jayhawks. Clyde Savannah grad Terry Brown on the baseline. Kansas the jumper. Right now they're late in the second half. Number 2 Kansas rolling in this one by a score of 82-59. One high school basketball score to report: final Hilton by 4 against East Rochester. A lot of high school basketball tomorrow, plus more on the Bills as they prepare for the Browns. Mike Catalano will have those reports from Cleveland.
Okay, thank you, John. And again, a reminder, our top story tonight: a suspect in custody in connection with a string of local murders. We'll have an update on that when we come back.
Football gave me great memories and some painful knees. I remember those smelly old-fashioned liniments, but time and training methods have changed. Today's trainers use Flexol 454, the aloe vera-based pain-relieving gel used by trainers in all major pro sports. And now Flexol is available to the rest of us who live with pain. I might just ask for my old job back. Flexol 454, it's a winner.
She can, and he can, at fantastic sounds, afford to look this good. People with pride, style in your hair, doing it right at a price that is fair. Me too can, at fantastic sounds, afford to look this good.
Helene Curtis Quick and Easy Perm, only $19.95.
Thanks to you, for many of the less fortunate in our community, this holiday was a little brighter, a little warmer, a little healthier, a little more joyful, and a lot more fun.
With the help of Volunteers of America, WOKR 13, Wegmans, and First Federal Savings, you brought the true spirit of the season to those in need. Thank you for giving a gift from the heart.
At Wegmans, getting your holiday pictures developed is convenient. At stores with one-hour photo labs, your film will be expertly processed by Wegmans photo technicians. Quality guaranteed by Kodak's Color Watch system. We can answer your photography questions. In many cases, your pictures are ready at checkout.
And when it comes from Wegmans, you know that it's our best. This is Wegmans' best.
At Wegmans Photo Centers, every holiday, you get our best.
Again, to repeat our top story, a local man in custody tonight, a city man, 45-year-old Arthur Shawcross. He was questioned tonight. Police will not confirm anything to us, nor will they say that he has been formally charged, but we have been told that he has been in custody tonight and taking state police to the scenes where 2 more bodies were located. Doug Ebledge has been out with 13 Live at those scenes tonight and joins us now with a final update. Doug?
Don, as you chronicled in the newscast earlier, so much has happened in such a big hurry today. I'm at Redmond Road in the town of Clarkson. I'm at Route 104, about a mile north of where I'm standing down this dark stretch of highway. Police are at the scene where another body has been found. What's different tonight, as you mentioned, a suspect led police to this body, not only this one, but another one in the town of Greece on Island Cottage Road. So police on the scene of a body found here and one found in Greece. They will stay here overnight. The job of removing the body and examining the scenes for evidence will take place tomorrow. There you're looking, about a mile north from where I am, Redmond Road. Police still on the scene where a body was found. Police led there by the suspect, Arthur Shawcross, tonight. A lot more is going to happen tomorrow, including all the official word from the police agencies involved in this investigation. A press conference scheduled for Troop B headquarters, State Police Troop B headquarters in Canandaigua at 11:30. Channel 13 will carry that press conference live tomorrow morning at 11:30. Again, tomorrow morning we will have more on what's happening here tonight, so tune in at 6 o'clock with Jenny Ryan. Don, that's it from here, and we'll have more in the morning.
Okay, thank you. Doug Ebledge with 13 Live. Finally tonight, a footnote to today's developments regarding that prime suspect in the murders of Rochester women linked to prostitution. We heard from the family of one of the victims tonight, 27-year-old Dorothy Blackburn, found in Northampton Park back in March of 1988. It was at noon today, in a quiet family service, that Dorothy's headstone was finally put in place at Holy Sepulchre Cemetery on Lake Avenue. Ironic it was today, said a family member. Perhaps now, he told me, she can truly rest in peace. That's our report for tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow.